call the meeting to order, and we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item is tax claims and abatements. Is there a motion to approve? Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion?
Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Motion carries. Then we have a review of checks issued from Finance and Central Services and from Human Services. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Then we have approval of our minutes from our October 11th County Board meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. We have one item today under Chair's remarks, and it is to recognize the important and very uplifting work of the Anoka County Family Caregiver Connection. It's amazing to think it has been providing support and respite to family caregivers and their loved ones since 1993, which is absolutely incredible. Just great work. The Family Caregiver Connection helps caregivers cope with the various responsibilities associated with taking care of someone experiencing health issues. By helping families take care of their loved ones at home, we're saving nearly $2 million in nursing home costs each and every year in Anoka County. So not only is there just a huge quality of life benefit as part of this program and the ability to stay home, but there's also a significant financial incentive as well. I'd like to ask Jerry Peterson, Director of our Community Social Services and Behavioral Health Department, to tell us a little more. Jerry?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, thank you. I'm Jerry Peterson, Director of Community Social Services and Behavioral Health. The Social Services and Behavioral Health Department has numerous services that work to meet needs in a quality way. We're here today, as the Commissioner noted, to highlight one of these programs, the Family Caregiver Connection, and in conjunction with passing of the resolution of Family Caregiver Month. You'll also get a chance to hear about one of our program's newer efforts, the Memory Cafe, along with meeting some of our partners and guests in this effort. Now, what I'd like to do is I'm going to turn it over to a couple of my staff to do who will lead you through a brief presentation and a video. Denise Kermis, Manager of Behavioral Health and Adult Services, and Gail Alexander of the Family Caregiver Programs.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, I am Denise Kermis, Manager of Behavioral Health and Adult Services, and I thank you very much for allowing us to be here today to just share a little bit about a program that's very important to us in Anoka County. In honor of November National Family Caregiver Month, we'd like to highlight the Anoka County Family Caregiver Connection Program. This program provides a variety of services which support local caregivers, enabling them to provide quality care to their loved ones. In 2015, the Family Caregiver Connection partnered with the Landmark of Fridley, a senior living community, to launch a new service called the Memory Cafe. The Memory Cafe offers caregivers and their partners who have memory loss an opportunity to connect in a comfortable, safe environment. Participants enjoy social activities, gain a deeper understanding of memory loss, and engage in a supportive setting which is tailored to their situation. Today we have two staff involved in the Family Caregiver Connection program with us, Kelsey Fugglesby, who is a staff of the program, and Gail Alexander, who supervises the program. I'd like to invite Gail here to share more about the innovative work of the Family Caregiver Connection. Thank you.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, thank you for this opportunity to recognize caregivers and the work that we do to support them. This is a quote by former First Lady Rosalind Carter, which frames the impact that family caregiving has on all of us. There are only 4 kinds of people in the world: those who have been caregivers, those who are caregivers, those who will be caregivers, and those who will need caregivers. I'd like to highlight just a few of the services that we offer to support caregivers. The Gathering is a small group respite program which partners with local faith communities and the Faith Community Nurse Program of Alina to provide respite care for caregivers. At the Gathering, seniors living with long-term illnesses find a safe, enjoyable place where they can socialize while their caregivers get a much-needed break. Caregivers can also participate in support groups which are jointly offered at each of the Gathering sites. We have 5 locations that combined provide 6 respite support sites. We're involved in several Alzheimer's initiatives, with the newest one being the Memory Cafe. At the Memory Cafe, we offer caregivers and their partners who have memory loss a rare opportunity to participate in social activities together. They enjoy games, music, exercise, and conversation in a comfortable and safe environment with others who have similar experiences. We've had the pleasure of partnering with Landmark of Fridley to provide this unique program since October of 2015. And in November, we'll launch a second Memory Cafe site with our new partners at Faith Lutheran in Coon Rapids. We have a brief video that highlights how this benefits our caregivers.
I first heard about Memory Cafe from Marion Hines at Book Club. I'd never heard about it before, but I'm not a stranger to Alzheimer's. My mother was diagnosed in the year 2000, 7 years before her death. And even though we as a family supported her, it was a lonely, isolating, confusing journey. Memory loss we lose the ground of who we are when we have memory loss. The tools that we know, the familiar things that help us navigate life are gone. And that is a really frightening thing for people. So Memory Cafe offers a place for people to go, to be, to share that journey with others. They can hear stories, they can tell stories, they can learn from others. And it's just a really safe, confidential, caring place to be.
I'm really excited to have a Memory Cafe in Coon Rapids at Faith Lutheran Church, because we really are lacking that kind of service in this community. My program, the Anoka County Family Caregiver Connection, will work with the church to make sure that people are connected to resources throughout their journey with memory loss.
This is so exciting for me. It's something that I have been wanting and hoping for a long time, and I just feel it's so important that couples are involved in this together, and this is one place, the only place that I know that we found where caregivers and diagnosed meet together, laugh, cry, compare notes, get ideas, and I just feel that the more that we can do as far as education, awareness, and acceptance for any kind of a brain illness or disease, the better off we are.
When I first felt there was something wrong, my brain felt like it was in bits and pieces. Frustrating, not working like it always had. It was also frustrating because I couldn't really put thoughts together like I always had been able to do. It's hard to describe. It just felt wrong whenever I tried to figure something out. Now, with notes and verbal cues as to my daily schedule, I do pretty well. I may ask the same question or say the same thing many times. I don't try to do that, it's just the nature of things. I really enjoy walking our dog, playing softball, socializing with friends. I think my wife keeps me too busy, but I've thought that for over 47 years.
And I'm hoping that people will feel strong enough and brave enough to come and join us.
I'd like to recognize some of our partners who have made the Memory Cafe a reality in our community. We've had a couple of changes to the folks who are here today due to schedule changes. As I say your name, if you could stand so we can recognize your contribution. We have Karen Teetens and Jackie Lewis from Landmark of Fridley. Thank you, ladies. And we have Pastor Kevin Dooley from Faith Lutheran. And then we have the stars of our video, Marion and Larry Hines and Jan Benskin. Thank you all very much for your contribution. Thank you.
Well, as most of you know, we have a senior population that is growing significantly within Anoka County, and that is, we're not alone in that, certainly across the state of Minnesota. And we are just so grateful for the wonderful partners that we have within the county. Just appreciate your willingness to help us provide this wonderful service, and thank you for those who are willing to share their stories, because it's a great way to outreach to other people, to let them know that they're not alone, that they're experiencing the same sort of things, and to have a place to go for support is just so incredibly valuable. So again, thank you so much. We really appreciate your partnership and your contribution to this effort. We have a resolution before us today that demonstrates the county's appreciation for the caregivers and the respite volunteers who help strengthen our communities. And I would like to offer the resolution and ask the board to join me in supporting that. And is there any further discussion? Okay. If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you so much. And that concludes Chair's remarks. And now we'll move on to the committee reports. Today, we're going to have Commissioner Kordiak is going to fill in for Commissioner West, who is delayed at an appointment, in bringing forward the Management Committee report. Commissioner Kordiak.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think first of all, we want to act on ratifying the minutes of the prior Management Committee of October 11th.
Mm-hmm.
I'll move to approve it.
Okay, so there's a motion for the Management Committee for the personnel transactions, which is a new position, non-budgeted Sheriff's Office Forensic Lab.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The one is
What?
an action item. The other are information on.
Okay,
So that is exactly correct, ma'am. Yeah, when it was brought forward the other day, the sheriffs were very pleased with this. It was a funded position. And we had about discussions, I think, both in Human Services and Management, and I would like to move that.
okay, and is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And Madam Chair, the other items were for information purposes only from that agenda. If I can continue, Madam Chair, we had some items from today's meeting. I think many of them turned out to be action items, maybe the first. On item number 1, this is pretty straightforward, but as long as we're approving that agenda, I like to move on the ratifications, the reclassifications of several one group county employees, which is fairly routine, and 2 travel items which are on the consent agenda that are listed for your review. I'll move A and B.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
All right.
Motion carries. Next item.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is item number C. This is a new position. This is the Human Services / Corrections. We had a discussion at the last meeting, county board meeting. The judge was here talking to us about the new drug court. We were very excited about that. We talked about the shared resource of the county attorney's office, the corrections office, the courts, and others working together to create a new opportunity for those who are both veterans and individuals who found themselves involved in criminal problems as well as drug court activity, which are both very critical to us. We were very pleased to get not 1 but 2 grants to fund this. This is the funding for this. This is one position that we'd like to hire. It's a probation officer, grade 12, 100% funded, with some $198,000 of grant funding and other resources to begin to enable this activity.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte. Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item.
Madam Chair, item number D, this is Resolution 2016 M5, this regarding a resolution regarding the arbitration award dealing with both the work release and juvenile detention center units. The information is here for your review. We know that it's an arbitrated determination, so we have really no other recourse except to accept this position. You can review it at your convenience, but I introduce it to you, and I'll offer that resolution today.
A resolution's been offered. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item.
God, thank you. And Madam Chair, there are two remaining items. One of them I think is pretty straightforward. This is item E, the city of Anoka along the Rum River waterway, looking to create an opportunity for people to have a safe harbor for kayaks and canoes. There's some trailway connections. I think that they're working with outside funding to support that. They're simply looking for our support as they approach the DNR, I think, with their authorization to move this project forward.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I would move we authorize a letter to the DNR.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Schulte. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Just to let people know, this is in the scenic waterway area next to the river, but it's going to be boardwalk-type construction and then natural trails with no asphalt or anything else like that put down. So it gives an opportunity to be close to the river, at the same time not disturbing, I think, the actual natural aspects of the river. So I would assume the DNR will approve and look forward to seeing the trail.
Right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Commissioner Kordiak.
Madam Chair, there was one last item. I think this had to do with the employee relationships. This discussion of a holiday. While it was non-critical today, it's something we may as well take up. This is the holiday that has been known as Good Friday. It's a day that is recognized as a holiday for employees, so the county is open that day. But we always work through with the staff to make sure that we have sufficient staffing. But we are looking at changing the Good Friday holiday to a personal holiday. Have it work pretty much function the same way. Just give people greater flexibility as to when they might choose to take it. And recognizing the very diverse workforce that we have today, it may be more appropriate to be a personal holiday rather than a more liturgical Good Friday.
Well, and Commissioner, I might note that it probably is less to do with that, but more to do with computer functions and systems and how they work and how they don't necessarily accommodate certain sorts of flexibility. And so that's really, I think, provides some good opportunities for our employees to have a little more flexibility, but really is because of the computer system that we're dealing with.
I'll move it, Madam Chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. All right,
And that, Madam Chair, concludes my report.
thank you.
Thank you.
Very much. Moving on to Transportation Committee report.
Madam Chair, the Transportation Committee met on October 17th here in the Government Center. There's a number of items for your consideration. Bear with me and be patient. They all sound very similar, but are different and need separate action items each. First, the committee recommends approval of an amendment number 1 to Anoka County contract between Anoka County and First Transit for operating the transit link services for the county. I'll move it.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
The committee recommends approval of amendment number 1 to Anoka County contract between Anoka County and First Transit for operating regular route transit service for the county.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Look. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
The committee recommends approval of amendment number 1 to Anoka County contract between Anoka County and First Transit to lease transit vehicles from the county.
Their motion to approve.
Moved.
Their second.
Second?
Further discussion. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
The committee recommends approval of amendment number 2 to Anoka County contract between Anoka County and the Metropolitan Council for funding of the transit link services operated by the county.
Their motion to approve.
So moved.
Their second.
Second.
Further discussion. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
The committee recommends approval of amendment number 1 to Anoka County contract between Anoka County and the Metropolitan Council for funding of Anoka County Traveler regular route transit services operated by the county.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Lastly, Madam Chair, the committee recommends approval of amendment number 1 to Anoka County contract between Anoka County and the Metropolitan Council for leasing transit vehicles operated by the county.
Their motion to approve.
So moved.
Their second.
Second?
Further discussion. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye. Motion carries.
And Madam Chair, that does conclude my report. There's a few informational items, and Tim Kirchhoff is here from our Transit Division if anybody has questions on the multiple contracts we just amended and authorized.
Okay, thank you. And then you have a chair's report as well.
I do. And the committee recommends rejection of all bids for the reconstruction of Bunker Lake Boulevard from Crane Street to Jefferson Street in the cities of Andover, Ham Lake, and authorize the county engineer to re-advertise this project for bids. I'll go on to explain, we all know what happened here. There was multiple bids, good bids, but we missed on one criteria. MnDOT would not approve the project. We didn't miss, the contractor missed on their bid. And as far as disadvantaged business enterprises. And for that reason, we rejected that bid, and it got too late in the season to re-award the bid. So now we're just going to repackage it all up and try next spring and get this project done in 1 year. So for that reason, we need to reject the previous bid package.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
I'll move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now we'll move on to Finance and Capital Improvements Committee report. Commissioner Lowe.
Madam Chair, thank you. The Finance and Capital Improvements Committee met on October 18th, and we came away with 2 action items. The first of which is the committee recommends the county board approve contract C0005327 with InSpec for design through construction administration of the re-roofing project of the Rum River Campus Cottage Number 10 Field Operations Building. This contract is an amount not to exceed $53,000.
Your motion to approve.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item.
Madam Chair, the second item is the committee recommends the county board approve the following master contracts. These contracts are 3-year agreements with 2 additional 1-year periods in them. And this is for hazardous material professional services and for abatement remediation. As we get into some of these projects, take the prior project, if we run into, say, asbestos in there. These contracts have been very successful in the past where we don't lose any time in having to go out to bid on the project. We already have it approved in a master contract with an approved vendor. We can call them in, we can execute the the challenge that we're seeing and make sure that the project stays on schedule. This has been something that we've had now for a few years and been very successful, and this is just re-upping the master contracts.
Okay, very good. All right, roll call vote.
I'll move it.
Oh, sorry,
I'll second.
missed that. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Madam Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to Human Services Committee report. We have a number of items. The first was on the consent agenda. It is consider recommending the county board enter into contract renewal with River Place Counseling Center for DWI and chemical dependency education programming at an hourly rate of $20 plus $975 per month. Administrative fee from November 1st, 2016 through October 31st, 2017. Contract maximum remains at $50,000. I'll move approval. Is there a second?
Second?
And that's a roll call vote.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Motion carries. And we have a number of items under community corrections. The first is to consider recommending the county board accept the federal specialty court funding in the amount of $66,013 per year for 3 years for the specialty court services in Anoka County. And previously, we voted on approving a new probation officer position. This is really the funding that will fund that probation officer position. The next item is to consider recommending the county board submit a community justice reinvestment grant application to the Minnesota Department of Public Safety, Office of Justice Programs, for between $75,000 and $100,000 to augment costs associated with specialty courts and to enhance effectiveness of the evidence-based service delivery. The next item is to consider recommending the county board enter into contract renewal with General Security Services Corporation to monitor and enforce adult restitution, initiate revenue recapture of various outstanding fees, and provide numerous officer of the day services. And this is something we've done for quite some time. I will move items 2, 3, and 4. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Motion carries. Under social services, we have a number of items as well. The first is to consider recommending the county board re-release the request for proposal for Family Homeless Prevention and Assistance Program for rapid rehousing activities and service to homeless families and single adults. The next item is to consider recommending the county board submit a grant application to Minnesota Housing for its Family Homeless Prevention and Assistance Program Technology and Capacity Building Initiative for up to $20,000, so we can improve program performance and increase outcomes. And then the final item is to consider recommending the county board amend the contract with Emma B. Howe YMCA, increasing the contract maximum to $187,937.40 for increased homeless assistance and prevention services to youth in Anoka County. Really, the first item, it is taking a look at, there were a number of entities that receive this funding, aren't necessarily able to meet some of the rapid rehousing requirements. And so with item number 7, we're taking that funding, increasing the contract maximum to Emma B. Howe, who is able to meet the requirements of those services that need to be provided within the community. So I will move items 5, 6, and 7.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Motion carries. Under behavioral health, consider recommending the county board issue a request for proposal for community support services and housing navigation for adults with serious and persistent mental illness. And then consider recommending the county board enter into a grant contract with the state of Minnesota, acting through the Department of Human Services Mental Health Division, to provide adult mental health services for Anoka County for 2017 and 2018. I will move approval of items 8 and 9. Is there a second?
Second?
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Motion carries. Under Job Training Center, consider recommending the county board submit a competitive grant application to the Department of Employment and Economic Development, Minnesota Equity Support Services, in an amount of $350,000 to improve economic opportunities for communities of color, women, people with disabilities, veterans, and/or youth from December 1st, 2016 through December 31st, 2017. And I will move approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye. Motion carries. And then we have the resolution 2016 HS 16 economic assistance bills, and I will offer the resolution. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Motion carries. And then finally, Resolution 2016 HS 18 proclaiming November 2016 as Homelessness Awareness Month in Anoka County. I'll offer the resolution. Further discussion?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Commissioner.
I just want to comment, I had the opportunity to speak at the Common Bond ribbon cutting in the city of Ramsey. And this is a workforce housing project, and 4 of their units, as I recall, were specifically designed for homeless people. So if you, forget what the criteria was, if you had unstable housing within the last 3 years, or if you're currently homeless, you're able to apply for these units. And it's just, it was absolutely enlightening to me to see how these communities are coming around and helping to house people that are struggling with homelessness. And so it's, I see the previous points that we, under social services, where we're dealing with homelessness, and now this resolution as well. I just, I'm thankful that we're able to meet some of those needs within our communities. And one particular individual, the family, this is the wife, the husband was a pastor at forget the name of the Minneapolis nonprofit down in Minneapolis, but they had given their entire life essentially to helping kids and families and people, and really hadn't prepared for retirement at all, and essentially spent all their resources in the ministry work that they were doing. And then they come to retirement and they realize, we're kind of hurting now for trying to find housing. And so they were able to actually move into one of these units and taking advantage of that. And just a firebrand of a person. I think that the residents there are going to, they're going to have their hands full with her. But so it's interesting to see how a lot of these people that truly have given their entire talent and wealth and everything to ministry, and now they come to their senior years and it's difficult to find housing. And so this is a very interesting and very neat solution to some of the challenges that we're seeing. Just want to mention that.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. It's, as many of you know, I worked in economic assistance for many years, and actually took applications for people who were being evicted, foreclosed on, losing their homes. And, it wasn't necessarily a multi-generational situation. In many cases, there was some crisis, healthcare crisis, domestic violence situation, and I always said, but for the grace of God, it could be any one of us. And so just a good reminder that appreciate how the community has really rallied and come around people to support them in their very difficult time. So thank you for that. Okay, and all those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll move on to Property Records and Taxation Committee report. Commissioner Kordiak.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. There are two action items that came forward today. They in many ways are one and the same. Pam is here who could further, maybe better explain them. But the first one, Resolution 2016 PRT 19, as she might recall, is an initiative to classify certain tax forfeit property. These are properties throughout the county. There's a list for your review. They have gone tax forfeit. They are now in ownership of the state. I think we desire to classify them so that we can sell them. We listed to classify them as non-conservation properties, is what this resolution does, which sets us up to move on those properties when the time is right, which is the next resolution that's contained here.
Yep. Mr. Chair, members of the committee, I apologize, I'm getting over a bad cold. The first resolution is, yes, it is approving these forfeit parcels that forfeited earlier this year for approval for sale as non-conservation. At this point now, the cities will have 60 days to review them because they also need to approve them for sale, as well as the DNR goes through that process. They start out as non-conservation unless there is a reason to set them aside as conservation. So they will, and then we anticipate having a land sale early next year to sell these properties.
There are how many properties here? I forgot the number. I see
There are
the
approximately
list, but
24.
24 today? Yeah.
Okay.
I'll offer the resolution.
Resolution's been offered. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. And then the next resolution, is there an offer of the resolution?
I'll move. I'll offer it.
Okay, resolution's been offered by Commissioner Kordiak. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried.
And the meeting items are for information purposes only. Thank you.
Thank you. And I would just comment, we had a report from our elections department, and they indicated that as of that point in time, I think normally we have about 201,000 registered voters. We're up to 204,000 registered voters, so an increase of 3,000 new registrations just in that time period. So I think it may be a very busy election. Commissioner?
I ran into her on my way up here. It's 2007. 200 and,
Oh, it's up.
yeah, 207,000 registered.
Okay. So since our meeting last week, we've increased by another 3,000. That is incredible. So I think it will be a very busy election season, and I know that she ordered additional ballots as well to accommodate for that. So very good. Thank you for the update, Commissioner West. Now we'll move on to the Public Safety Committee report. Commissioner Schulte will be taking that today.
Thank you. There are a few action items here. First, the committee recommends the county board approve and execute 2017 law enforcement contracts for a term of January 1st, 2017 through December 31st of 17 with the following municipalities. East Bethel for a total of $1,081,093. Linwood Township for $234,518. And the City of Columbus for $305,295. And the City of Now Then, $232,458. Each of those communities have a different setup as far as number of hours of patrol and additional law enforcement services, that type of thing. But they're all agreed to. The sheriff has come to an agreement with all the municipalities, and we're here to approve and execute those contracts.
Is there a motion to approve item 1A through D?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And in Central Communications, we have one item for your consideration. The committee recommends the county board approve and execute a contract, which is the renewal of a joint powers agreement for the Metropolitan Emergency Services Board with a 5-year term commencing January 1st, 17, ending on December 31st of 2021.
there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much, Commissioner.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, that does conclude my report.
Okay. The next item, and at our last meeting, we had the City of Columbia Heights here and recognized them for being named one of the 10 All-American cities, and this is a resolution in that regard, so is there?
You have to offer it, Madam Chair.
Okay, further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. We have committee appointments. The first is to consider reappointing Paul Summer to the Emergency Medical Services Council, representing law enforcement for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2019. And then the next item is to consider reappointing Lynn Stepaniak, representing District 3, and Craig Malm, representing Mercy Unity Hospitals, to the Community Health Advisory Committee for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2019. Their motion to approve items 10A and B.
So moved.
Okay, Commissioner West has moved, second by Commissioner Schulte. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. And I know, Commissioner Kordiak, you had something that you wanted to announce?
Yes, if I can, Madam Chair, I'd just like to let many of you know that longtime county employee Dave Torkelson recently died. He died early on Monday morning. He was struggling the last few weeks with some serious conditions, which kind of happened suddenly, and they result in his passing on Monday. There will be a funeral sometime this coming weekend. Dave, many of you remember, was our Parks Director for some 30 years. The first Park Director of Anoka County, which has a long history of parks. Many of you remember that county really started parks in metropolitan counties 50 years ago with the assistance of Al Kordiak. Dad had commented that Dave worked tirelessly 7 days a week as he built and forged a park system in Anoka County. He was dealing with parks back at the time when there were millions of dollars available, federal and state dollars, encouraging governments to create park systems. And Dave was quick to get on top of that and work throughout the county. I think the two of them really worked on two things, Dad said this morning again. One of them was to have park systems dispersed throughout Anoka County, which I think many of us probably agree he did a very good job. They did a very good job of. And secondarily, they sought water, whether lakes, rivers, creeks, streams, or other water embellishments. I think they saw them as an enhancement of anything that we chose to acquire. We have today, according to John Vondelin, some 18 parks. I kind of lose track. 9 of them are regional parks, which are they've got to be 1,000-acre or more systems, which are large. We have 7 county parks yet, which tend to be smaller parks, and 2 large conservation areas, including a total of some 10,000 acres of parks in this county. I think that some of our fellow county governments kind of envy Anoka County, for we got in the game early, we got in the game hard. We have many parks, many acres, and offer, as many of you know, and I've been on the Parks Committee for years, many opportunities and different ones throughout every single one of our systems. I'm pleased to have known Dave. He was a tough driving character, but he got the job done. He offered much and gave himself throughout the system. He called me for years with trees down and issues he saw in the system. He had long since retired, but he was always concerned about parks. It's clear to say that what Dave has left a living testimony of his presence in Anoka County that will long extend beyond his passing. If my father was known as the father of the Anoka County Park System, certainly Dave was the driving force that created this in this county that would not have been done without him. And he has so many stories that he's told me over the years. Every park has its history, and I thank him for his service, and I'm sorry for his passing, just to let you know.
Thank you, Commissioner Kordiak, and certainly our thoughts and prayers go out to his family.
Thank you.
Right, is there anything else to come before the county board? Okay, if not, meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Sure.